Welcome back to the Stormcrow Show. My name is Josh.
And I'm Brady. And today is episode 2 of our Dungeons & Dragons escapade using the 5th edition rules.
That's what we named the series?
We did just now.
Okay, awesome. Just a quick note. We forgot to mention the DM's name, our Dungeon Master's name, in the last episode. It is the incomparable Andy.
All right.
That's one of his titles.
One of them. You'll hear more soon. Now, back to the race between Jade and Ian.
This should end well.
Yeah.
Actually, since this is
He's dex-based too.
Yeah.
since this is a
I'm
dexterity
dex-based, but I
contest,
have all the weapons, so...
make this an acrobatics check.
What?
This is a die roll.
17?
I don't think a 2 wins,
Okay, so
so you can have it.
I will go with the +1.
I was going to suggest rock, paper, scissors, but being that this turned into an acrobatics check, that could turn out to be way too intense for this early in the game.
Well, it's to see who can get to the weapon quickest. Alright,
Yeah.
you have an instant fortress and a +1 right there.
Cool. Great.
Who's
Alright.
holding the fortress?
I am.
Okay.
All right.
Now, you are all coming down the mountain pass into Almsgard. Almsgard is known to be a crossroads town, so you have to travel a ways through the forest to get there. However, you don't expect it to be a particularly long or arduous journey. So, within a fairly short time, you arrive in the town.
You wanted us to roleplay.
I wasn't expecting much.
Apparently, we are all. Here's our solution. We are all tired from fighting bugbears,
That's
Yeah.
true.
That seems to be true.
nursing bruises and cuts. I would like to just. So we've reached the town. Clarify?
You are entering the town right now.
I would like to get an idea what we're entering into. A town.
Yes, you're entering into a town.
How about is it a nice town? Are there people throwing rocks at us?
There are some small children throwing rocks, but not at you.
Okay.
In our direction, could I intercept one of the rocks?
Do you have the Mage Hand cantrip?
I do.
Then yes, you can.
I will, on our way in, I will, quietly make a mage hand to are they on our left or our right side of the road?
These kids are actually in the town square, so as you're entering the town,
As we walk into the town square, and as we walk back past them, I will have a mage hand catch one of the rocks, kind of toss it up and down a couple times, and then toss it to the kid it was going to originally.
Okay, so you use magic in front of the small child.
I hopefully they don't see it, but yes.
Well, mage hands are visible, so yes, they would see it.
Well, no, the mage hand can be visible. It's fine.
Right. So the small child looks at the rock floating in the air, being tossed by the magic hand, looks around, sees a man with red and white skin, scaly skin, and horns, and then screams and runs home to his mother.
That would have happened had I not cast Mage Hand, so...
This is quite true.
I was going to say there.
This is not... I don't remember if I introduced this part of my character. I am also... My sorcerer... The origin of my sorcerer abilities is from Dragon Blood. So I also, in addition to being a fiendish-looking individual with reddish skin and horns, I also have... in various parts of my skin, white scaling textures.
Right.
My dragon.
One of the other small children, a little girl, walks up to you and says, "Mister, your skin is really pretty. How do I get mine like that?"
This is atypical. Usually you scream and run away.
Is that how I get skin like yours? Scream and run away?
I sit her down. I kneel down in front of her. I don't sit her down. And I give her a long and confusing story about how I single-handedly defeated a dragon and a demon that were threatening a small town that, in my story, seems deceptively like, or strangely like this one, although I assure her it's not. After which I was rewarded with the praise and adoration of all the townsfolk. However, it left my skin this way.
Right. So as you're telling her this story, what is the rest of the party doing?
I'm standing there and just being grateful that he didn't actually cast like prestidigitation or something like that on her.
I'm gonna complain that it's cold here and that I want to get going inside.
I am using
Okay.
prestidigitation to
since his story
apply
is-
sound effects to my tale.
Okay.
Since his story is a long story, what would you all like to do while he's telling this long story?
Well, maybe one of us should keep an eye on the sorcerer then, and the rest of us try to find this inn.
Okay, now, as you look around, you can see that there is an inn and an alchemist shop and a blacksmith and all of the other sorts of shops you'd expect a small crossroad town to have.
Mm-hmm.
However, the inn that is there is most definitely not the same one that you have the deed to.
I would like to take a closer look at the deed if possible.
You take a closer look at the deed.
Do I see, like, where it's supposed to be located, like a description?
Well, you have a name and you have a city. You do also have a mile marker, implying that it's along a road.
Okay.
And the Elm Wine Inn is the one in the town square, and your inn is the Baldur's Luck.
What mile is it?
You're not really sure where it would be, and the number itself is irrelevant, and so...
Well, I mean, if it's like 1, it's not very far out of town, but if it's like 58, we're gonna be out in the middle of nowhere.
Right, well, it's difficult to tell exactly where the miles are being reckoned from. It's probably not the town square.
Do we see any mile markers around here?
No, you're in the middle of a town. It's generally something you'd see on the road.
Oh, okay.
Now, do I get the impression that this child is that I'm telling the story to, is part of a local street urchin gang? Because that was my assumption.
No, she just seems to be a normal kid. You assume her mother is somewhere and probably will be horrified when she stumbles onto the scene.
I mean, that was going to happen whether I was telling her daughter a story or not.
Right.
Maybe when we're trying to approach the cleric, so that way the mother maybe thinks it's okay.
Otherwise, I was going
That's
to
fine.
volunteer to stay so that I could clarify his rather long story and just talk about a tanning salon and the dangers of skin cancer.
The dangers of skin cancer are probably significantly less in a world that has the remove disease spell.
True.
Probably. But to make a little girl understand, I will do anything to
Because-
clarify my my compatriot's story.
So you're going to take my long epic tale of adventure and fun, because all this tale is meant to be enjoyable, and entertaining, and what you can tell to your friends, and you're going to turn it into a joke.
Yes,
Alan,
that's
please-
what I do.
Please make a performance check.
Could this be deception? Because this is all lies.
But you're trying to
That's
entertain
true.
her, not make her believe you, so... Well, rather, clarify your intent. Are you intending to make her believe you, or are you intending to make her have fun?
I mean, kind of both. I don't know, how old is she?
7.
Then both.
Okay.
Because a 7-year-old.
So I would say probably performance then, because
Alright.
she doesn't necessarily question whether this is true.
Well, we'll go with a 19 then.
She is just riveted by this tale. She's
thought so.
probably not going to remember all the details because she's concentrating too hard, but she'll tell her friends something that vaguely resembles this someday.
Okay. I finished my story.
Alright.
I used prestidigitation to keep the cleric from talking.
That's not how that spell works.
Good.
Also, he's not the cleric.
That's not the cleric.
The rogue.
The assassin.
Who?
Yeah.
So you're gonna mess
Silence
with
is
an
what he
assassin for
does.
fun?
I'm
Is
just
that
gonna.
smart?
I know. I from our long time working together, I know he is about to make some quip, and so as I stand up, I put my arm around his shoulders and just guide him away from this child before he scars her for life.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's fair. That is very fair.
All right, so I'm still trying to figure out where the inn is. Or
Would you like to investigate by inquiring anywhere?
yeah, is there a local like guard station or someplace that would potentially know where?
Don't see anything that would resemble a central authority or some sort of official government building, because this is a fairly rural town,
Okay.
and it's not the most centralized of kingdoms either.
Okay.
You assume that there's probably some sort of militia or town watch, but they don't have an obvious central location.
Okay, I'll walk into the other inn.
All right.
Is it open? Let's start with that.
The inn
Actually,
is open and
Okay.
serving customers. In fact, one customer is very loudly warning people of the dangers of someone known as the Woodsman.
What does this person, loudly speaking, look like?
He is a rather older man, grayish hair, like a salt and pepper beard. He looks to be rather slack-jawed drunk,
Okay.
and he is slurring every other syllable and all of the ones in between them too.
Great.
Okay. That doesn't concern me. Is anyone playing cards? Are there any card tables?
There doesn't appear to be any gambling games. There is a couple of people at a table in the corner playing cribbage, but they don't appear to be playing for money.
That's fine.
I go up to the bar area, and does it look like the owner's there, or?
There is a middle-aged woman behind the counter serving drinks. She might be the owner or the barmaid, or you don't know which without asking.
Good evening, ma'am.
Oh, hello. What do you have?
I'll have a beer, and also some information. I've been traveling for a while. I'm supposed to meet a friend. I may have gotten lost. It's not here, but it's a different inn that's supposed to be in the general area.
Oh, there's no other inns operating in this area. Well, there used to be, of course, but...
Oh, what was it called?
Well, down the road to the east, there used to be the Baldur's Luck, but ironically enough, the owner died and had no heirs, and so it was closed down.
Oh,
Now, if you want someone to lead you out there and show you exactly where it is, you could talk to Amos. He's the local Fletcher and woodcutter.
that would be very helpful.
He's very familiar with all the forest and all the roads and the entire area, so he would be the person to talk to.
Okay, sounds good.
Where can we find him?
Oh, he's in his Fletchery. It's on the south side of the square. You should be able to see him just there whittling away.
Okay.
I paid for the beer.
Do you stay to drink it?
No, I'll say it's on the house of the next person who needs it.
I take the beer.
Alright. You take the beer. Do you drink it before leaving?
What is the vessel in which this beer?
It is a pewter tankard.
Yeah, I'll stick around and drink.
Okay.
Leave it to Ernest to take advantage of other people's generosity, including his own party members.
Yeah, well, this is why we will never retire as rich old adventurers.
Because Ernest will keep taking advantage of our buying of beers.
Or somebody else will take advantage. It just happens. It just happens.
I suppose it's an unwritten D&D rule or something like that.
Stay tuned for episode 3 of our adventure coming to a YouTube channel near you.
Preferably this one.
Probably this one. And with that, I'm Brady.
And I'm Josh.
And this has been The Stormcrow Show.
Thanks for watching.